E. Good morning, vlog, my sweet angels. I feel like I haven't said sweet angels this whole vlog. Just a reminder. I kind of took today off yesterday because I was just tired and needed a reset day. So it's Sunday now. We're ahead of schedule, so I guess this video might go on Monday. Never thought I would be saying that, but 3 videos left. We have 1 week left, and I couldn't be more pleased. This morning I just took Beau on a walk. I'm gonna go over to a vintage store my friend owns, and then another friend is doing like a little pop-up selling there, so I just thought I'd stop by and say hi. Get my life together today for the week ahead. I had a very calm weekend. I literally just like wrote and read and watched TV and rested all day yesterday, and it was so nice. Day 13, we're here. We're not gonna trip at the finish line. I see myself not tripping at the finish line. My favorite coffee treat that I almost forgot about. Espresso or coffee, and then sparkling water. They're usually made with tonic water, but I don't have tonic water. And then an orange slice and a little honey if you want. So good. If you like Negronis, this is the Negroni of coffee. Hi guy. He's very small, but loves yoga. He's just always on the mat, just pondering life, really getting into relaxation. Have a sweater on because it's chilly outside. Thank God. Summer in LA is fine, but I really like all the other seasons here more, to be honest. Never thought I'd say that. I was gonna go to ceramics. I just have been so tired again. I haven't been sleeping well at all week, but especially the past few nights. So I'm like, all I want is to get a good sleep. We're pulling out the big guns. I'm gonna take some magnesium. I might even take some melatonin, even though it gives me crazy dreams. I just want a nice, cozy, big sleep tonight to start my week. And hopefully we go to ceramics tomorrow. I'm gonna whiten my teeth. My teeth are they are a mess. Because I also bite down in my sleep because my dreams are so crazy. And my two front teeth are chipped. I'm sure people notice. I feel like actually kind of insecure about it. But then today I was like, you know what? My chipped teeth are kind of cute. Maybe eventually I'll fix them. I don't even know if they can fix it though. I think they would have to grind my tooth down to make it even again, and then that is actually probably bad for the teeth. They told me to wear a night guard, but I don't see myself doing that, honestly. But I can make them whiter. So they're like eco and gentler. That's my night. Okay, I just got a package. I wanted to share this because I think she is just the bee's knees. This girl, I think her handles are Mila Mend. She talks all about her journey with PCOS. I know this won't be for everyone, but I just feel like I want to mention it. And also just how much struggle she had in like getting any help with it, how many of the markers of like what we think are normal, like the normal ranges they're giving us at doctor's offices, are actually not normal and not optimal at all. I just think her story is so inspiring. And then she went on to make this supplement that she had shared the recipe for, like she had worked with people, and obviously like consult your team or doctors or whoever you work with to make sure it's like not interfering with anything. She launched the brand, like she has hundreds of thousands of followers on TikTok, so obviously has like a base that has created who like want this product. But her backstory on trying to work with people to fund it and them just being like, you need to charge like 3 times as much for this or no one is gonna help you make this, where she has been so adamant about keeping the costs low and actually help people. I could like cry talking about it because I just think it's so cool and like admirable of her. So if you have PCOS, not saying you need this, I mean like look into it, but also just like go to her page and listen to her stories and her talk. I know so much of this month has been about like health issues, like that's I guess what's coming up, but I just like needed to shout her out because I think she's so inspiring and legit. Obviously I haven't tried this yet, I just got it. Life is so funny. One minute you're out of flow, the next minute you're in flow. I feel really good today and inspired today. I've just been doing little things that needed to get done. If you give a mouse a cookie, if you give me an inch, I'll take a mile. Me stressed in real time. I gotta get this video up. I said this earlier and then I was looking at the footage, it was just so wordy, so I just like needed to redo it. I'm really filming this and then you're gonna see the video. Here we are. I'm shuffling cards because I have to do things with my hands while I talk. But I was filming this earlier and I was thinking about it a lot. I feel like I've been really reflecting on this recently this summer over the idea of looking and searching. And I feel like for a long time, moving to LA, feeling pretty like ungrounded in myself, feeling like I don't have a lot of close friendships or like quite the friendships I want or quite like a relationship, or work's not feeling at its top, at the top of its game, you know, like feeling very ungrounded. And I think it brought to light a lot of these, yeah, like dark feelings that I was looking at that also put me into this space for a long time of really like looking and searching and waiting, and I didn't even realize just how much I was doing it. And of course, until you like kind of come out on the other side, it's much easier to see things. I saw this TikTok the other day. I don't know if I'll be able to find it because it actually was probably months ago at this point, but they were talking about the principle of like looking versus seeing, and it resonated immediately that looking is like this very outward energy. Like you're just like, you're looking like you're almost just like somewhere else because you're like putting yourself somewhere else. Where seeing
if you're seeing something, it feels so much more centered and like you're in your body, like to see something. I don't know if that will translate, but I think was really powerful and interesting and kind of has to do with this. But I was thinking of this metaphor earlier, or analogy perhaps. Being in my younger 20s in New York City, I did not like spending my time this way. It feels like so clear to me to reference now. Going to bars, I'm out with the friends, I'm out with the group of girls. We go to a bar. It's like not the right guys are there, or the vibe is weird, whatever. So we go to another bar, and then we go to another bar, and then we go to another bar, and then we go to another bar. And then it turns out that the whole night was just waiting around, like searching for the right bar to take place so that we could finally have fun. And I remember just being like, this is miserable. Like, I'm having no fun. I am tired, and we're now making our own fun. And like, all I wanted to do was make our own fun. And this one feels obvious to me just in the ways that I'm like, I love going to a bar and just sitting at one table and like hanging out and just hanging out with whoever I'm with for in general. And then like seeing where the night takes you, of course. But that one feels, it's so obvious to me that I'm like, oh, seeking in that way is the worst place to be. The worst way to spend your night is like going out and looking for something to happen to you. In my experience, you'll never find it. The worst nights are when you're expecting something great, or like needing something great or fun, or like you need to meet someone or whatever. In my experience, it's never happened. It's always when you just are out to enjoy yourself. And this feels like such a clear example of this. And I guess I was reflecting and realizing just how much that experience was still like alive and well in my life, but in much subtler ways that were not as easy for me to pinpoint. That I had gone into a space of so much lack that for a while upon moving to LA, and it's slowly by slowly, you know, you like release your grip on things and things happen and whatever, but for a long time was just feeling like I was just searching for something to come along to save me. And, you know, maybe this phrase is not completely true. Does, you know, like friends and all of the things that I wanted, you know, are pure, like friends and relationship and work to be good and all of these things, but, and they do save you in some ways, but end of the day, when I say this to myself, like no one is coming to save you, it does hit really hard. And of course people show up for us and they are there for us in our darkest moments, you know, a lot of the time, and that is a powerful thing. It makes sense why we want and need these things, but just like reflecting on just how like repelling the energy of like seeking is, how easily I had been sucked into wanting something to come along to save me, or wanting something to come find me and remove me from the pain I was experiencing. I notice this in relationships a lot. It's very easy to see from the outside when someone feels not good enough for someone, and then they are constantly playing out this cycle of being with someone who makes them not feel good about themselves, and then they're just wanting the person who can't. It's a classic tale, really, of someone wanting the person who will never make them feel good enough to finally tell them they feel good enough. Like, this principle is very simple, or like basic psychology, I suppose, or basic spirituality in some ways, but I do think it's kind of powerful to really look at, and I feel like have been integrating a lot of it in a better way into my life, because it's sneaky. It's like a sneaky little snake that's in your brain that will constantly feel like, if I can just get this thing, it'll all work out. And sometimes that's true, obviously, with like basic needs and like money and, you know, like we do need all of these things to survive, and that's true. But I guess what I'm thinking about is the energy from how we approach them is so interesting. And in a lot of ways, I think a lot of the working on myself I've been doing has been pinpointing some of those beliefs of like where I feel like what it is that I'm really trying to get or receive, so that I can finally be happy, or I can finally, you know, release some of these demons. And that's been really helpful. to see the ways that that plays out. I think a big one for me is freedom, interestingly enough, that I've come to, that freedom somewhere along the way, I do know where, but we don't need to get into it. Very obvious was this thing that was outside of myself that I needed to get from other places, and I could not have it until I found it. And there was so much pressure on that. And a lot of the times when I did get, whether it be like a relationship or friends or whatever, maybe this more so plays out in friends aren't as volatile, so I feel like they're easier to have, but just this feeling of, think about it as like a vortex. I was writing this earlier. It's like, this is my own like personal little world, whatever. I'm the center because you have to be. And then you have your little people in it and whatever. And just how much I would find myself like going over here to be like, am I finally free? Like, now that I have these friends, or like, am I finally free now that I have this relationship? Or, and it's so subconscious. That's not what I was thinking about. I was just thinking about how I liked having these friends or whatever. But deep down, the lack of like satisfaction I would have when I would finally like get the things still has felt very like palpable for me, that I'm like, there's still a part of me that, or was a part of me that was feeling unsatisfied. And it is that basic principle of like, if you're always seeking, you'll never be there. I think it's very interesting just to like see the ways it creeps up in life, and just more sure than ever that I'm like, oh, when you finally release the need for things is when they come. I only have my own self-experience, and I guess what I witness in other people's lives, but it really does feel to be true, like just how repelling like seeking and needing is from an energetic level, not even from like a conscious level, a way that the world works, the universe works, in my experience. But I've been thinking about that a lot, and seeing the ways that even over this month, I feel like I've been approaching life a little bit differently. And it's cool to see that over a month, I feel like my life has actually really changed a lot, even if not that much has changed, even with making work or videos and just having a lot less of a grip of, if this doesn't go well, like it's the end, you know, like if this is not the like thing, then it's the end of everything, of like how that drama takes over in your brain. And there is actually a lot of freedom in that, speaking of freedom, but we have 2 left, and I'm gonna stick around, don't worry, but I'll be there Thursday and then Saturday, and then we did it. Don't trip at the finish line. Okay, you're gonna see this video right now, but Illy, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.